So, Resident Evil Village. This was revealed at a place. Actually, all of the Resident Evil since 7 have been revealed at PlayStation events, and RE8 was revealed at this big, huge PlayStation 5 game event. And I remember losing my shit because obviously I loved 7, and I really wanted to see what they were going to do with 8 because there was another Ethan game. It was first person still. Yeah. So I remember losing it. Obviously, I think it was revealed before the pandemic started. I think it was, at least. I don't remember 100% for sure. Obviously, a pandemic happened, so it went from being a PS5 and Xbox Series game to being an Xbox One, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series game. So it went on last gen, basically. That's how I played it originally. I played it on my Xbox One from 2014 that was begging to be put down. When I first finished the game, it was my favorite of the series, by far. As time has gone on, I've started to like it less and less. I think it's very middle of the road for the franchise. I think 7 is better. I think the 2 remake is better. I think 5 and 6 are better, unironically. Like, I love 6. I know a lot of the the fan base hates 6, but I love 6. It's a fucking mess, and it's incoherent in its plot. The way it does its lore is fucking insane, but I love it. Trying to think of what else. I have the special edition, which comes with these little lore files that this, obviously, as you can see, I think as of right now, I am planning on naming this episode Part 0 because I don't think I'll actually start the game yet. Not for a little bit. Because I got to read the Baker Incident Report. So, before I got this version of the game, I had never read or seen this. And I am fucking pissed this is not a default thing you unlock. Because this explains so fucking much of what happens between 7 and 8, and it's kind of important. So, yeah. Like I said, I have the Gold Edition, so I had the Shadows of Rose DLC, which I have only played Shadows of Rose once. I played it back when it came out, and I enjoyed it. I do not... So, when Shadows of Rose came out, they made it so you can play the entirety of RE8 in third person because... I think they said because a lot of fans were sad they couldn't play 7 because it made them motion sick. And then the same thing happened with 8, where it was in first person again, so a lot of people were getting motion sick. So they made it so that you could play the entirety of RE8 in third person. One issue, though. The entire game was made to be played in first person, and a lot of those areas just feel horribly designed to be played in third person. And some of that issue transfers into Shadows of Rose. Anyway. I'm going to start reading this. So this is the Baker Incident Report. We'll read a report on the events after the Baker Incident from RE7. It's fucking 80 pages, Jesus. Baker Incident Report. That's right, it's not like a full page. This report depicts my investigation in the events after the incident at the Baker residence. The Baker Incident. July 2017. A number of people lost their lives at the residence in the middle of the American countryside. It was a truly horrifying tragedy. I still don't know the exact number of victims. 2 survivors, husband and wife Ethan and Mia Winters, were able to shed some light on the events which would have shook the world, but there's a cover-up and the Winterizes vanished. There is someone or something powerful acting behind the scenes. I just know it. I decided to investigate to follow the breadcrumbs of what happened after. How can I be so sure? Because I'm someone who was there. First of all, how is this incident reported upon in its discovery by the world? Let's take a look at some newspaper clippings from that time to see how the news was manipulated. 1. Discovery of the incident. Local newspaper, the Dovey Daily, July 22nd, 2017. Family of 4 found dead in Dovey. Dovey County Sheriff's Office reported that the Baker family were found dead in their home in North Dovey on 21st of July. Surrounding details are currently unknown. Apart from the deaths of Jack Baker, his wife Marguerite, their son Lucas, and daughter Zoe. Deputy Sheriff Dave Anderson has also been missing since the 19th, according to Deputy Sheriff Riley Whiteford, who visited the Bakers' residence around the time of his disappearance. Social media post, July 22nd, 2017. That thing with the dead family, wasn't that where the giant black monster was? You think they're eaten by that thing? No way. It's not some cheesy horror movie. Old man Jack did some crazy stuff. I remember him getting into a lot of fights. He probably killed the whole family, then offed himself. Transcript of a complaint to the county sheriff's office. I don't believe it. It's been 2 days already, but you haven't reported anything else. Was it murder, an accident, suicide? And what's with the National Guard sealing the place off? What are you all hiding? Very little was reported shortly after the Baker incident was discovered, leading to rapid spread of rumors and speculation. Bakers were completely isolated from the rest of the community, and sealing off the entire area around their home set things in motion. I recall there sure was a lot of public pressure on the press for information. I admit that at the time I was being held in quarantine by a certain organization and couldn't see any of the news for myself. They finally allowed me to watch TV a few days after, and I was flabbergasted by the stark difference between the reports and reality. 2. The cover-up. Local newspaper, July 30th, 2017. Sheriff's office say Baker family killed by natural gas. Jesus. In a follow-up on the deaths of the Baker family on the 21st, the Dovey County Sheriff's Office stated it is highly likely that their deaths were caused by a hydrogen sulfide leak. The local area is surrounded by wetlands, which combined with a concentration of pollution could have led to the buildup of toxic gas that claimed the lives of the Baker family. The leak has been blocked, however, and authorities have been sealed off the area to prevent any further accidents. The victims included were Jack Baker, Marguerite, Lucas, Zoe, Dave Anderson, Clancy Javis, Andre Stickland, and Peter Walken. Injured are Ethan and Mia Winters. Social media post from July 30th. Toxic sulfide gas? They're kidding, right? I heard there were soldiers, tanks, helicopters, the whole shebang when it happened. The government's up to something for sure. And here come the conspiracy theorists. A bunch of nut jobs like you came out of the woodwork during the Raccoon City incident too. But there was that black monster and that satellite photo of the shipwreck. You have to admit, something's fishy. Magazine Inspector, an interview with Sally Baldwin, Professor of Geological Sciences at Midland University. So you don't agree from the report from the Sheriff's Office that it was a natural gas leak? We can't rule it out completely, but it's unusual, all things considered. Hydrogen sulfide builds up in areas where there are a lot of volcanic activity. The town of Dovey, however, has no volcanic activity anywhere in the area. My own geological survey in 1998 revealed absolutely no hydrogen sulfide in the area. A tragic natural gas leak. That was the official stance on the Baker incident. That is a complete fabrication. Nothing about the murders in that house, nothing but the terrifying monsters that stalked the halls and lived within its walls. It's evident that someone was keeping the truth hidden. The thing that surprised me most was the fact that my name was on the list of victims. If you haven't figured out who it is yet, it's coming up. The organization still had me in quarantine. I was terrified the whole thing would come to an end with me actually being among the deceased. Thankfully, it was a needless fear. The organization gave me a new identity and let me go. I guess they figured I was harmless and didn't know anything else. I was allowed to live as a new person. Apparently for my own safety. I tried to contact the other 2 survivors, Ethan and Mia. They saved my life after all. I wanted to at least take them, but they completely disappeared. I knew the organization knows where they are, so I decided to investigate the BSAA. So, BSAA is basically... They were the good guys for a while. Now they're kind of more gray. And as the events of this game unfold, you'll find out what happens with them. Anyway. BSAA, Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance. A counter-bioterrorism organization sanctioned by the UN. It was formed to combat the rise in bioterrorism after the collapse of Umbrella. They have combated terrorism across the world, including China and Europe, and highly regarded as bioterrorist police. So basically... China is RE6. Europe is Revelations 2, I believe. I think that's what they're talking about. Anyway, the BSAA finally intervened in the Baker incident and were the ones that saved Ethan, Mia, and I. Thanks to my detainment in the facility, I have a pretty good idea of who their members are. I was very, very persuasive when it came to asking them about the organization top secret documents. The topic I was most interested in was, of course, the Baker incident. I wanted to know the truth the BSAA was hiding. 3. The hidden truth. Secret meeting between the sheriff and international organization. One of our reporters has unearthed evidence that a secret meeting happened between Dovey Sheriff Coleridge and an international organization known as BSAA. BSAA. Many have voiced their concerns around the legitimacy of the sheriff's office statement that the incident at the Baker estate was caused by a toxic gas leak. Inspector suspects there might be more to the story, and the sheriff's office and BSAA are covering something up. We reached out to the sheriff's office, but they refused to give a statement. Edgar McClintock. BSAA Investigation Department final report on the Baker incident. The following details: the investigation of the biological disaster in Dovey, Louisiana, also known as the Baker incident. The document is to employees with Class B clearance and above. We have concluded that the Baker incident was caused by an accidental contamination from a prototype bioweapon known as Evelyn. The residents of the Baker household were contaminated by a mold-like pathogen, mutamycete. Evelyn was capable of rapidly producing this mold, and it enabled her to control those infected both mentally and physically. The Baker family were not the only victims. Evelyn manipulated the Bakers into kidnapping dozens of people. These victims were infected and mutated into monstrous creatures called molded. Evelyn was originally created in a Munich research facility by an international crime syndicate, The Connections. BSAA dispatched a team to destroy Evelyn. The mission, however, was not successful, and Evelyn escaped. Evelyn was then transferred to America by The Connections via ship along with her caretaker, Mia Winters. However, Evelyn managed to escape during transport. She murdered most of the ship's crew and destroyed the ship. We believe she then abandoned the vessel that had washed up in the bayou near the Baker residence. The aforementioned operation to eliminate Evelyn was BSAA's failing. We cannot deny that as it has resulted in Evelyn infecting innocent civilians. BSAA will have to take responsibility should these events ever come to light. As such, we advise that a cover story is fed to the media and BSAA's involvement is kept quiet. End of report. E-Series mutamycete analysis report. Biological analysis report on the E-Series mutamycete, henceforth referred to as mutamycete, recovered from the Baker residence. The mutamycete has similar characteristics to Callidosporidium, black mold, and has incredibly high reproductive properties. It acts like a parasite, infecting the cells and rewriting the DNA of its host. Furthermore, when it combines with other bacteria, sorry, I had to check something. Other bacteria, it creates its own muscle tissue, brain, and nervous system. As such, an organism infected with a mutamycete transforms into a type of undead monster. End of report. Bioweapon report file. A human biological weapon constructed through the implantation of mutamycete into a human embryo. It has the ability to infect with a fungal network and control hosts through brainwave signals. Evelyn was driven by a natural instinct to create a family, and the affected victims she controlled were her surrogate family. However, due to an innate defect in her chromosomes, Evelyn's cells reproduced at an accelerated rate, causing her to age rapidly, then die. End of report. The Connections report. One sec. The Connections is the crime syndicate with no base of operations. The organizational structure is unknown. However, we are aware of their actions. One sec, sorry. Their actions on a global level. In recent years, they have been particularly active in Eastern Europe. Most of their activities appear to revolve around the creation and selling of bioweapons. Evelyn was one of their products. Reliable sources have confirmed that the Creatable organization was founded by Brandon Bailey. Bailey is a shrewd man who was once the right-hand man of Oswald E. Spencer, CEO and president of the Umbrella Corporation. His current status and location are unknown. Bailey and Spencer became estranged with differing visions, and Bailey used the connections he made working as director of Umbrella Africa Research Center to branch off, that's events of RE5, to branch off and found the crime syndicate. The organization's main goal and appears to simply be commercial gain. Further investigations are in progress. End of report. According to the BSAA's top secret documents, the Baker incident, as I know, was just another statistical blip to be recorded. That fateful night when the tanker washed up in the bayou, Jack took that little girl from the shipwreck and into our home. Then she turned everyone crazy, made us into monsters. BSAA knew this when they manipulated the media and covered the whole thing up. An easy thing to do for an organization with direct backing from the UN. They couldn't let anyone know it was them who let Evelyn, the cause of all this, escape. I continued to investigate and finally caught wind of Ethan and Mia's location. Where the Winters are. BSA Investigations Department transcript of interview with Ethan Winters. Shall we begin then? Please state your name and occupation. Ethan Winters. I'm a systems engineer. How many times do we have to do this? When are you going to let us go? Our interviews until now have been necessary to include if you have any ulterior motives. Now we understand that you're just an innocent victim in the whole incident. So, you're going to let us go? Yes, but we have one condition. What's that? We would like you and your wife to remain under our supervision. In exchange, we will provide you with a new home, a new country. What are you saying? You want us to take on new identities? Wait, a new country? You want us to move to another country? To a lovely country in Eastern Europe, to be precise. Europe? You gotta be kidding. Why the hell would we... You are both witnesses to what happened. There's a certain criminal organization who's looking for you. We are doing this for your protection. Think of it more like witness protection. But all the way to Europe without any say? You can't forget everything you experienced here. You can forget everything you experienced here. Start a new life. It's better for both of you that way. There's no way we can forget everything that happened. I want to talk to Mia about this. Let me talk to Mia. Audio ends. Interview transcript with Mia Winters. According to our examinations, you are mostly free of the mode now, Mia. Did you tell him about my past? No. As a sign of appreciation for your cooperation, I can't even say that word now. BSAA has not divulged your involvement with the connections. I just want to return to a normal life with Ethan, to forget everything. Ethan and Mia are in Europe. I was ecstatic that I finally had a clue into their whereabouts. However, this is where my investigation hit a brick wall. BSAA security is tight, and even with some acquaintances helping me out, no one knew the Winters' exact location. Which makes some sense when you consider an international crime syndicate is after them. 2 years passed and no progress. I ended up working as a rookie reporter for a small newspaper in New Orleans. The Baker incident has all but vanished from people's minds. Then one day, a letter arrived at my tiny apartment. It was from none other than Mia Winters herself. Hey, how you doing? It's been a while, hasn't it? BSAA won't let us send any emails or letters, but I gave this directly to an employee to give it to you, so it should be safe. Our location is still hidden. I've always wanted to tell you how thankful I am. Ethan and I wouldn't have died in that house if it hadn't been for you. So it must have been hard to fight all alone for so long, so thank you. I can't tell you where we are, but we're safe and happy. I feel like we finally settled down into our new life. The house BSAA gave us is huge. I don't know what to do with it all, but oh, that reminds me, there's a reason I wanted to write you. Ethan and I had a baby. I included a picture of her with this letter. I warn you, she is so cute. Aw. We named her Rosemary. Isn't it such a wonderful name? I hope you can come and see her someday. Ethan wants to see you too. I've learned all kinds of local dishes. I'm sure you'll like them. No need to reply. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Take care of yourself, okay? Sincerely, Mia Winters. A letter from Mia and Ethan out of nowhere. And they have a daughter. I had almost given up on finding them. I couldn't hold back the tears. I'm glad the three of them are happy in their new life. Just as I went to close the mailbox, I spotted another envelope. It was embossed with the BSAA logo, the sender unknown. It contained the following. Warning letter to Chris Rodfield. Chris, we're growing concerned with your recent activity. According to recent reports, you have taken personal control of the elite unit, the Hound Wolf Squad, without permission. And you've accessed a number of top secret documents, also without permission. What the hell are you doing? What are you and your squad doing in Eastern Europe? Who the fuck is this Miranda that keeps popping up in your correspondences? What's with this investigation into the Winters family? You've been very critical of BSAA since the Baker incident. You might be one of our founding original 11, but I cannot let you continue to run around unchecked. So I repeat this myself. What the hell are you doing? BSAA HQ investigations. There's one thing scribbled on the back of this. It's not over. This is everything I have in the Baker incident. It's purely for my own reference. I don't intend to send it out to the general public. I will continue my investigation. Many have tried to get in my way, slow me down, but I'm doing this for my family. I won't give up. I know that someday I'll be able to give Ethan and Mia my thanks directly. At least I pray I can. My name is Zoe Baker, a survivor of this tragedy. End. So yeah, like I said, that is fucking important. to like the overall story of the franchise, and it's locked to a pre-order bonus, and later came with the gold edition when you bought it physically. I will be doing. This is my first time playing the game on PS5, obviously. I will be doing a collectible run, so there's gonna be a lot of times where I'm pausing because I have a guide up. I'll be sharing the guide I use in the description of these videos, if I remember. Um, Let me see here. Let me check. I'm pulling up a collectible. I used one guide the first when I did this on Xbox, but um, that guide has people talking, and I don't want that to get caught in the video recording, so I'm trying to find one without commentary. Plus, I have played RE8 about 6 or 7 times now, so I can usually tell where we are, so I can do it without any extra audio. Okay. So that's gonna be it, basically. I'm stopping this first episode here. Like I said, this is part 0. This was just me talking about RE8, what I feel about the game so far, like how I feel about the game, and doing the Winters report. Or the Winters report, the Baker incident report. So yeah, next time we'll actually start the game, get through the massive amount of opening cutscenes. Actually. Yep. 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 Oh, change the reticle color. Let's do green this time. I'll play a little bit with ray tracing on. Turn this brightness up a bit. Let's do that. Over time between this game is fucking long. It's like 10 to 15 hours long. So I would not be finishing this in one sitting. So once I rewatch the footage later, I'll change all the brightness settings to make sure everything looks right. Change that. Subtitles are on. Let's not do that. Yeah, just do that. Yeah, do that. No, let's not do that. Share my Ernie. Let's turn those off. Okay. So now I'll end this episode. Okay, see you in the next one. We'll start this up.